What's going on, guys? King Strats here, back into the video on the channel. Today we are back with another episode of The Best, where I highlight my favorite restaurants from each genre in the year of 2023. Today is Jamaican food. Jamaican food has a very contested favorite with a lot of people. Some people like certain dishes from other places, so what you look for may heavily dictate where you want to go. This place was my favorite of the ones I've done this year. It is known as 14 Parish Caribbean Kitchen. It is located in Hackensack, New Jersey. It has a 4.2 on Google, as well as a 4.0 on the highly contested Yelp app. From what I remember when I went here, I just thought the food was excellent, and it had the best service of all the other places I've gone to as well. And I thought it was one of the more affordable places with some pretty good dishes. So we got 4 different things from the menu. 3 of which I've had, 1 of which I'm going to try for the first time, but that is what's on the menu for today. Drop a thumbs up. You guys already know the vibes. I'm glad you're appreciating the car videos. Today we are back in the house. We're going to mix and match between the 2 depending on which one works best for that particular one. But let's start off with our first dish. What we have here is jerk chicken. You can get 2 sides with each meal. I got these steamed vegetables, and you can see the rice and peas. It's hanging out right underneath there. Now, with me, I like saucier jerk chicken, and that is a preference. So what I will do is order extra jerk sauce on the side, and then I just go in over top. But I'll also dip the rest of it. So I'm not gonna go too crazy with adding it, but I want it to make sure it like makes the rice just a little bit more. So I'm gonna keep this much on here and then this much on here. And that is how I like to eat mine. You get 2 pieces, there's 3. I got 3 pieces of chicken on here, 2 drums, and what looks like, I can't really tell because it's covered. It's either a thigh or a breast. But the last time I had this, I thought it was one of the best ones around. So matter of fact, man, why am I trying to be, I make sure I got something to wipe with this or something like that. There we go. There it is. Look at that. Hopefully this ain't dry, because I'll be mad when my chicken dry. Nope. Not dry at all. You can see that's grilled off, right? It's got the nice little char marks on there. Good amount of sauce, but I'm going to go in and get a little dunk onto this bad boy. Make sure I get in there. There we go. That's about to be a bite. Now, this is a point of contention. I've heard some people tell me that jerk chicken is supposed to be dry. I ain't those people. But the jerk sauce on this is spicy enough. It's not gonna have me sweating or anything, but it's enough to let me know that I'm alive. Well, I like this one. Again, it has to taste like it came from a fire pit. I don't want to see jerk chicken that comes from the oven. That's just not for me. So get in here for some of the rice and peas with the steamed vegetables, which is usually cabbage and carrots. They're usually not flavored crazy. They're usually just steamed, just straight up steamed. There's not much going on else with them, but it adds a nice little texture and change to it. The only thing right now, I don't see many. Oh, there is one. There's some peas in here. I just didn't catch them at first. But again, the real key to this is execution, and obviously the sauce. It's got to have nice flavor with that char, and I love to see that. But I also want to try the other piece right here. Yeah, let me go. Oh, I'll get down with this. Yeah. This is even better than a drum. This the bite. Go ahead. Make sure you get it off the bone. And go back in with a little dip. It's good. It's hitting today. I can definitely rock with this. Next up, I got an order of rasta pasta. If you're unfamiliar, the best way to explain this would be, it's like an Alfredo, a creamy sauce, but it's got like the spices that you would get like in some Jamaican food. A lot of these variations come with a meat option. They didn't have a meat option. It's meatless only, which is fine with me. All that matters is if the pasta is good. But I like to, drop one. I like to get some with the shrimp, to be honest. But I'm not really mad at this. It looks coated well. Hopefully this tastes good. Make sure I get one of those peppers in here too. This is pretty good. I never had this one before. I want to try something different. I can definitely rock with this. But what I like to do, I didn't get oxtail, but I got the gravy. Now take a little bit of the oxtail gravy. I throw that on. Ooh, yep, a little bit. My ass. See what I'm saying? Just give it a little bit more flavor, a little bit more something to it. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Adding a little bit of oxtail gravy just gives it a little bit more of like a rich. That's right. Adding a little more gives you more of a rich, whatever that means. This hits. If I had this with a side, maybe like some ribs, jerk ribs, or even just get some of that jerk chicken on here, this will do you right. Okay, I gotta stop eating this, but I took a shot in the dark and it ended up being really good. I haven't had it before, so I will rate it. I'm gonna give it an 8.9 out of 10. Not quite elite, but very, very good. This one is one of my personal favorites when it comes to Jamaican food. This is curry goat. Keep an open mind. It has a nice light curry sauce and it's cooked ever so slow, simmered. You gotta be careful. There are a ton of bones when it comes to this, but it came with, I added extra for another, I think I paid $2 extra for to add this mac and cheese, which I've never had before, but it also comes, I got the rice and peas and the steamed vegetables. It's one of my favorite things to get, but the curry goat be on point. Also, for someone that's trying to point out, this is not hair, this is a stem. So I know somebody gonna say something. Now, when it comes to goat, I tend to eat it with my hands because as you can see, there is a big bone in here. Same as oxtail. So you just wanna bite it and then kind of suck it off the pause. You know, just leave me alone. I know somebody gonna say something. Still got a bone. Don't really matter, but there's a nice piece. Some of the rice on there with some of that gravy. You got to get the full bite to really appreciate it, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go in with the veggies. A little piece that fell off the bone right here. Did that fall off the bone? Yeah. Go ahead. That is good. But again, I'm telling the truth because I don't lie to nobody. This was even better the first time I had it. This one is good, but the first time, the curry flavor was a little bit stronger and I liked it a little more. Now, when you think of curry, it's just a blend of spices. It's different than the South Asian variations that you'll get as far as the West Indian versions that you get. But I always get down with some goat. I did not get oxtail, as you have noticed. They actually didn't have any more. They got sold out because I went there a little bit past what prime dinner hours are. So I didn't really get to get it, but it's also super expensive these days. Most oxtail plates at West Indian restaurants used to be between $10 and $20. Now they're usually closer to $30. Price of oxtail went up. It's not really their fault, but I can't get down with that. But here we go trying the mac and cheese. Let's try that again. I gotta tell the truth again. They don't make mac and cheese the way that I like it usually. It's much more of like a mac and cheese pie and it's usually baked and not very... Let's try it first. Yeah, it's the usual. I wanted to try it, but every time I have it, it's always just missing something. But if I mix it in with everything else, which is what I would do anyway, then it's pretty good. But this goat is on point. It was better the first time though. I'm not gonna lie to you. One of my favorite things to get, we got the beef patty, but with the cocoa bread variation. They did this for you. This is how you're supposed to eat cocoa bread and beef patty. I've seen some people where they do it a little bit differently, but this is the way I've always eaten it. So you take the cocoa bread, it's already been done, it's opened up, you add the beef patty to the inside, and then you just make yourself a little sandwich in it. Hopefully it has enough of the actual beef in here for it to hit. I need this bite. For those who aren't familiar, cocoa bread is called that because it uses coconut milk to make the bread. So it's a little bit sweet. I wouldn't call it a King's Hawaiian roll because it doesn't have that like brioche kind of feel to it, but it works well with the contrast of the beef patty. So it's like savory, sweet kind of deal. If you've never had it, it's almost one of those things you got to keep an open mind, because people say, why would you stick a breaded patty into bread? But you stick breaded chicken into bread. You feel me? When it's really good, let me just do this for you real quick. You see the amount of beef that's in there? That's an acceptable amount of beef. This bread is so flaky, or should I say the patty, that I got a whole factory of patty crumbs right here. It's supposed to be flaky. I gotta get in here. I can definitely get down with this as well. This takes me back. When I was a kid, I used to go to Hackensack, believe it or not. I got family over there, and there was a Jamaican restaurant. It's not open anymore. That was down the street. And back then, because this cost me like $7. Back then, talking 90s, it was only like $2 and change for the whole thing. So I would just get one of these and just be standing outside with a couple of my friends I had that lived in the same block that like my family did. And we would just sit outside with the beef patty. So that just takes me back to a whole different era. I think food personally is like almost like music, where when you eat certain ones, bones, it takes you back to like maybe when a time was good, or maybe just to a feeling that you haven't had in a while. Almost like when you hear a certain song from an era and like, damn, remember this? Eating that for sure takes me to that. When it comes to West Indian food in particular, very similar to like Peruvian food and certain foods like that. You'll see a lot of people, and you might see them in this very comment section, that tell you that they don't like the food here. They like a certain restaurant better that I might not necessarily like, and so on. But for me, this is the best one in my immediate area. Now, I know as we move on to this expansion thing in 2024, more than likely, there might be a better place. But I stuck to the county that I've been in for this past year. And in this area, Bergen County, this is definitely in my top. But we're going to get out to other neighborhoods that have a lot of Jamaican people, just like there are certain neighborhoods. Hackensack has a lot of Jamaican restaurants. Teaneck at one point did too. Patterson as well, which is Passaic County, but it's like on the border, so it's really close to Bergen. But you get the idea. As we move forward, I'm excited to see what everything else has in store. I'm glad you guys have enjoyed the car reviews. I'm glad you guys have enjoyed staying at the house. And again, as I said, going forward, it's going to be a little bit of both. When it's more convenient or better for the sake of the review, if I'm further away, or it's something that I feel like might be better if I eat it immediately, then we'll do more of the car stuff. Large majority of you guys enjoyed the car stuff. Some of you didn't, and I completely understand. Changes and moving forward, I completely get it. I'm not holding that against anybody, and I still appreciate it, but it's got to make sense for people saying like stay in the house. It's got to make sense for certain things. The pizza, it's always been one of the biggest ones that people are like, if you got it, you got to eat it at the restaurant or it's bad. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I don't want to leave out gray area for people that might not, because I've always gotten pizza delivered. I rarely have ever ate pizza inside of a restaurant. I most of the time took it home. If it was somewhere near, like if it was drivable, I would take it home. But either way, I get what you're saying. So this is what we do. As time goes on, as I said, I'm grubbing. I need to chill. As time goes on, as I said, there'll be a little bit more than that. But I appreciate y'all, man, as we bring out the rest and the best of 2023 and go into 2024. I like this food a lot. It's, again, I almost got out of hand there. So I'm going to go. The best has been really tough for me as far as I don't want to stay talking too long because I'll start picking at the food and I don't want to do that. So I know there's been some of you, again, I read the comments, man. I appreciate it constructing this to say you missed the longer videos. It's tough sometimes. It's tough. Like a lot of people like how do you not eat all the food? Because I back away from it. So if I sit here, I'm gonna start doing this, that, and the third. So that's a big reason. I know we can chop it up sometimes and I appreciate that. I'm trying so hard to eat this, but I want to finish my thought. But if we're gonna continue to make videos for the next foreseeable future, I gotta make sure that I'm still on point and not overeating food like this. And I make sure I'm still eating my chicken and my veggies to finish off the rest of my day. You know what I mean? So, a lot of people, I know most of y'all understand that, but at the end of the day, I gotta make sure that I'm not just off this. It's tough sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But that's gonna be the end of the video. We've got almost an entire month left. Christmas is coming up, so obviously the best won't be on Christmas. I might do something on Christmas Eve. I'm not 100% sure, but there'll still be content either way. So I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for your support through this. And we'll be back tomorrow. More content, man. I love y'all. The hand signs, they made it to YouTube.